Hi, my name is Adnan Hasbi and welcome to the Funny Finance Guy. In today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about taking that first imperfect action. For this, let me give you guys two stories. And these stories, I noticed it when I was in the startup space. Back when I first started in the startup space, I remembered talking to some entrepreneurs, and they actually had a whole business model. The business model had like a 30-page business plan. It planned how to get funding, how to get their first few clients, how to grow, how to make sure that they have enough scale to ensure that their business is always sustainable. Having said that, however, when I asked them just a simple question, what is their unique selling proposition, or a simple question of what products they wanted to bring out in the market, these guys were very tight-lipped. In fact, they thought that their idea was a billion-dollar idea, and they just kept quiet. They didn't want to share any information, and they just stuck to themselves. Okay. And 4 or 5 years down the road, when I looked at their progress and I asked them, what did they do eventually, most of them are still working in the jobs which they actually had since day one. Okay, so that's the first type of entrepreneurs where I noticed that these guys had the best business plan, but in terms of execution, it was not really there. And in fact, I also was in the same boat for the longest time, where I had the business plan and I had maybe 4 or 5 friends, and they were all advisors, the smartest people in the room. One was an accountant, one was a business strategist, one was, I guess, someone really good in sales and marketing. And when we all got together, we carved out a great business plan. But having said that, when it came time to actually bring that product into real life, what happened was nothing happened. Everyone was just frozen, and that first step was never taken. Having said that, I actually even worked with another entrepreneur. I was a startup I was the co-founder for this company, and this company sold yoga pants. And to put things into perspective, the other person, she actually had her business model drawn out on a small little napkin, right? And she didn't think of all sorts of scenarios, and she didn't come up with the Porter 5 or the Blue Ocean or whatnot. She just had this philosophy in her head, which is every day, always take that imperfect action. And what she did was, in the beginning, she took the first imperfect action. It didn't work out. Okay, so she pivoted and she took the more correct action. The next day, she took another imperfect action. But then what she realized was, from that mistake, she learned and she pivoted. Day by day, she started pivoting all her mistakes until she actually knew what helped grow her company. And from knowing how to grow her company, today, her company is sustainable. Okay. And to put things in perspective, her company, I'm sure some of us have heard of the brand called Lululemon, and some of us actually seen generic yoga pants. Her company was in between Lululemon and generic yoga pants. And I realized that the only thing she did different from the other entrepreneurs was she took the imperfect step every day. And when she learned from her mistakes, she kept pivoting and pivoting and pivoting until it came to a stage where she knew she had that instinct, or she developed that instinct of always trying to grow the company and always trying to take that correct step. She, I guess, at that stage of the business, it was the growth stage of the business. So over here today, in this small little episode, I just wanted to just share with you guys that I'm sure you guys can see that I'm doing more live right now. And my last live, when I was talking about the merger, you could tell that I was very jittery and nervous. But I told myself I had to take that imperfect step. I needed to make maybe the first 20 horrible videos before it gets better and better and better. And I just want to share this little wisdom with you guys. We cannot start great, but we have to start to be great. So whatever dreams you guys have, maybe your first investment portfolio, or maybe building your first startup company, or maybe having your perfect job, whatever it is, everything is possible. If someone has already done it, that person and us, we are the same. And to tell you guys the truth, before I even joined the investment industry, I never quite admitted this, but I am slightly dyslexic and I cannot read numbers. Okay. And when it came to fact sheets and financial statements and building business models, it normally takes a normal analyst maybe 2 or 3 hours to build a forecast. But it took me maybe 2 or 3 days to build a forecast. But I was willing to grind and put in the work and put in the effort for me to be one of the better analysts in the industry. Again, the point is, know what you want. And whatever it is, put effort. And the more effort you put in it, granted you'll make mistakes in the beginning, but eventually you will be great. And that's one of the reasons why I'm shooting these live episodes. I actually have a lot of ideas in my head. And by the time I make it into a slide and a PowerPoint and yada, 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 and it takes maybe 1 or 2 weeks, by the time I disseminate the information, I think it will be too slow. And that is one of the reasons why I decided to go live, to answer the questions. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, and thank you so much for joining me. I can see, I guess, the only one person in this room right now. But as time will go on, I'm going to have a more scheduled approach to things. I know I'm doing things like very haphazard, but you know what? It's all about taking the imperfect steps. I'm trying to always convince myself, imperfect steps, eventually it comes better and better and better. I hope you guys could take some benefit from this particular episode. I hope that you guys always focus on what you guys want. I want the best for all my subscribers out there. And with that, I thank you so very much. If you like this particular episode, please give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys.